We were thinking it would be just another stupid adventure in the woods. But that evening we discovered something, or someone, lying in wait for us. And once we knew what he had in his hands, we sprinted like our lives hung in the balance. We went into the forest at night and regretted it. My friends and I lived pretty close to a national forest, only a 10-minute bike ride from my house. Since we lived in a dull, small town with nothing better to do, we tended to spend our free time exploring those woods. We didn't know the directions very well, and none of us had smartphones with Google Maps either. So yeah, it wasn't really the safest activity. But after all those years going out there, we got quite used to the neighborhood. I was only 15 years old at the time, and it was the start of summer vacation. My best buddy Jason was over at my house for a sleepover to celebrate. We were going to stay up all night playing Xbox, but just past midnight the electricity went out. My father rose to see if it was working, but the entire neighborhood had lost power. We couldn't do anything. We were nowhere near being tired. We had recently consumed energy drinks 30 minutes prior, preparing for an all-night session. Once we spent a few minutes sitting around being bored, Jason unexpectedly asked, "Have we ever gone into the forest? At night?" It was such a stupid question, but strangely enough, we never had. We'd been living here our entire lives, riding through those woods for years, but somehow, never once had we entered them when it was dark. So we took an empty backpack, stuffed in a few flashlights, and rode our bikes to the typical trail. It was this road clearing beside the road where we always parked our bikes. This time, however, we saw a car, an old SUV, parked up the road. The lights were not on. It seemed like it could have broken down, so we assumed someone had just left it there. We dropped our bikes and went into the woods. The second we entered, we had to whip out our flashlights. It was completely dark. Outside of the woods, there was enough moonlight that you could see, but inside, it was all just darkness. I still don't understand why we were so eager to head there at night. I guess it was just because of the thrill. A little adrenaline. It took only a minute or two for that adrenaline to kick in, because when we turned back, the entrance was already out of view. The forest noises at night were neat, and certainly spooky. But as we continued deeper, I began to feel uneasy. I don't know if Jason did either, but the high had worn off for me. Now it just felt like something was off. We walked quietly for a few minutes. The noises about us had changed from soothing to unnerving. We slowly moved our flashlights over the trees, wary, listening. And then we heard it. A snap of a stick. To our left. The noise reverberated through the forest. Both of us froze and scanned our flashlights into the direction of the sound. Standing there, perhaps 40 feet away, was a man. Jason and I didn't budge. There was just something not quite right about him. He was wearing a black leather jacket, a cap pushed over his long hair. But the thing that still lingers were his eyes, wide open, disturbingly wide. We stared at each other for 10 seconds. That's when we realized he was gripping a shovel. Jason pulled his head back in and whispered, "I think we should leave. Like now." That brought me out of it. We turned around and began moving fast, then running fast, almost sprinting back in the direction we came. We hid our flashlights under our shirts to reduce the glow in case he tried to track us down. Finally, we returned to the road and our bikes. But something was different. The old SUV we spotted up ahead. Poof. We hopped onto our bikes and pedaled home. I really wish we had reported what happened, but even if we did, I don't think anything would have happened. We couldn't see his face, didn't know what car it was, or what he was doing out there with a shovel. At night, alone. After that evening, I stopped venturing into those woods because secretly I feel like if we had lingered just a little longer or crept just a little nearer, we might never have returned. Hope you like and share this story. Thanks for your lovely comments. See you in the next great story. Subscribe.